Funky.
Funky. Good evening, everybody. Hello. All right, we are already both of us on the picture. That's lovely. It means we have 2 extra minutes, and I would like to ask Lucy to make the pictures full, so it looks a little more comfortable for me to see. How are you, Katie, today?
I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely fine. I was really almost late. I was rushing up to get ready for the podcast, but in just 2 minutes before I was ready, so I'm really happy. Also, I would like to welcome everybody in the ChilliChat podcast. This is the hottest podcast out there, and this is the 3rd episode. And as you see already, my guest is Katie Prettyman, who is a competitive eater and a Chilli-head. So we have even more things to talk about tonight.
Yes.
I mean, it's good morning for you because you're living in a state, and it's you told me it's like 10 in the morning right now.
It is 11 a.m. right now.
Oh, 11. Okay, still good morning.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm good. I'm not dying.
Yes, you were talking about rushing. I was here like a minute before we went live. So it's just one of those days, I think.
But it's all good. We are here. We are in time, so everything is perfect. All right. Which one came first? Competitive eating or being Chilli-head, or the chili stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. I started doing restaurant challenges prior to any of that. And then the year I decided to become a competitive eater, so that was 2018, I started doing more eating challenges on my channel, went to Nathan's, and then that fall, so like September of 2018, I think is when I did the version 2 of the Pocky One Chip, which I had no idea what I was getting into. But people really liked that video, and I love spicy food, so I've just continued doing it since then.
All right. And also, if you don't know, guys, that Katie has a YouTube channel, which is a really good one. I like it. I like it a lot. You're doing a lot of reviews there, food reviews, drink reviews, updates about the competitions you're doing or preparing. What else?
I mean, anything food related, really. So yeah, the eating contests, food challenges, reviews, like you said, spicy stuff. Sometimes I do cooking. That's a little rarer, but that's actually how my channel started. I started it as a cooking channel and then kind of got bored with it.
Okay, I didn't watch that kind of old videos, but actually I watched always the updated videos, and I saw many times your daughter as well.
Yes.
Who is lovely and really fits to your channel. She knows how to do reviews with you. This is fun.
She's great. I love it when she does the reviews with me because she always has a different opinion. I feel like she's really funny. She's actually going to do her first spicy challenge with me soon. We just ordered the dual, the new chip challenge. She wants to try it, so we'll see.
Nice. Can I ask how old is she?
She's 14.
Okay. So she's brave.
Yes. Yeah. But I feel like high school age, you're old enough to make that bad decision.
Yeah, I think so. I think also. It's time to do these kind of bad things. Does she has her own YouTube channel also, or does she thinking anything about continuing on her way what you started already?
No, she doesn't have her own YouTube channel. She's not big on social media in general. But she has done a few local eating contests. She won first place in a pie eating contest.
Oh, wow.
She won first place in a strawberry shortcake eating contest. So my hope is that maybe when she's 18, she'll want to do contests with me. We'll see.
That sounds lovely. Can I ask what's your... I wanted to ask job, but it's not the word I was looking for. Sorry for my English.
No, your English is great.
Yeah, I know, but when I can't remember a word, sounds really stupid. Profession. Yes, that's one. Thanks. Yeah. What's your original profession?
Yeah, so right now I work for the American Red Cross. I
Okay.
run our volunteer services program for most of Washington State and the Idaho Panhandle. So my
Nice.
team brings in all the volunteers that are going out and responding to things like wildfires, home fires. We help with active military and veterans. We have a lot of different services. But yeah, it's a
Wow.
support role.
Yeah. Social work also. That's
Yes.
that's lovely. I mean, it's really in a way it's really cool. In another way, I guess it's really hard because you have to work with people that suffering. Working for Red Cross isn't always fun. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
is the eating competitions and chili challenges helps you to turn off from these? Because
Yeah.
it sounds like I see a lot of people suffering and I go home and I feel bad, so I eat some spicy stuff and I go suffer too in a different way. The house
Yeah.
burned down, I burned down my mouth. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
sorry,
not.
it's a little black dark joke, but
No, you have to have black humor about it. Yeah, sometimes I think the work that I do is so serious that the eating and the chili stuff, it's silly, right? It's chili silly. So
yeah,
it's a nice distraction from the serious nature of what I do regularly.
okay, absolutely understandable. Let's start first with the chili because this is the hottest podcast. How chili challenges came in the first place?
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, the first like official challenge I did was that Pocky one chip, which
Yeah,
now doesn't seem like a big deal to me, which is funny.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I kept doing them. And I think the first time I realized that I was in over my head and I hadn't prepared, a friend sent me 2 fresh Carolina Reapers. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just eat them on my lunch break and see how this goes. And so I ate one. I was like, okay, the mouth burns hot, but it's okay. So I ate the second one. And then about 4 hours later, thankfully I was done with work, but I couldn't drive home because the cramps were so bad. And
Oh,
and thankfully I was commuting with my husband, so he drove home, but that's the first time I realized that I had made a serious mistake.
okay. uh, you started to continue because you had big success on YouTube with the pocket chip video,
Mhm.
or okay. And you said
Yeah.
you like chili foods before that as well.
Yeah, so I grew up in New Mexico, so chili is a part of our everyday food there.
Yeah.
And my mom always liked making a lot of Asian foods, and she used to grow Szechuan peppers and dry them in her home. So we always had fresh chilies around. So I grew up liking like pretty spicy stuff, nothing like what we do now. But I knew I enjoyed it, and so the Pocky chip video that I mentioned is still my most viewed video,
Hmm.
and that's part of the reason I keep doing it because I can and I enjoy it and people like watching us in pain. So
Yeah, people always like to see other people suffering. Some
mhm.
ways is especially when we choose to do it, not like the ones you used to have to. So
Right.
when we choose to suffer, when we choose the pain, it's always more entertaining for others. Especially when we do something, they understand what we do, but they can't. It
Right.
makes everything a bit more interesting because everybody knows what spicy food is and they know they can handle it or not, but when they see doing challenges, it's always like, okay, that's an over limit. It's a different step.
Right. And that's been interesting for me because I feel like the spicy challenges are easier than some of the competitive eating that I do because the competitive eating takes so much training. Whereas I feel like most spicy challenges, almost anybody can do them. It's just how you deal with the aftermath.
Yeah.
Um, so it's different in that regard. But most competitive eaters have told me that they will not do the spicy challenges that we do. They just absolutely won't. They think it's horrible.
In a way I can understand. Yeah, competitive eating is what I would never ever try because
Right.
I know I can't. This is something which is really over my limits, far over my limits. So for me, watching competitive eaters is always really entertaining.
Right.
Just how people entertained by watching me doing the chilies. I follow plenty of competitive eaters, big names, of course. They are easy to find. And I was really happy when I saw your first video, and then I was checking your channel, because when I get into Nauk, I started to follow everybody. I could find on YouTube or Instagram people who doing content, of course, because just being there, have a name, I never follow, because like, why? There is no content for me. And I found your channel, and I was really happy. Like, oh wow, okay, there is a Chilli-head and a competitive eater. Immediately subscribe and watch videos.
Thank you.
Oh, come on. Thank you for the videos and for the entertainment. How competitive eating started? You mentioned that you made one competition 2018, and then
Yeah, so like a lot of competitive eaters, I started being interested in the restaurant challenges probably 10 years ago when Man vs. Food was a really big TV show. So Adam Richman was the host at the time, and a lot of us were inspired to try those challenges then. And so I did my first restaurant challenge like 10, 11 years ago. And it was a challenge that Adam Richman wasn't able to finish, and I was. So I was,
oh wow! I'm sorry, just congratulations.
yeah, thanks. So from there, I knew that it was something like I had a natural talent for without training. And in, I guess it was 2017, I started watching Beard Meats Food, who has blown up, huge channel now. But I started watching him, and he was so charming, and I loved his content. And so I started watching other competitive eaters that he would collab with, and I just kept subscribing to more and more of them. And then in 2018, New Year's rolled around, and I thought, well, I could do the typical New Year's resolution where I lose weight like everybody else, or I could try this competitive eating thing. So,
sorry, it was like, okay, don't eat or eat too much. No between. Not like regular people. I starve or be full.
Well, my logic was, when you look at most competitive eaters, they're typically really healthy. They're all either runners or weightlifters, and outside of the challenges, they eat a really healthy diet. So I thought, if I'm disciplined enough, maybe I can, get healthier while doing this really fun hobby. So that was the idea.
Okay. Did it work?
My weight still fluctuates, so it's definitely something you have to keep track of. Like right before Nathan's this year, I probably gained like 10 pounds in 1 month just preparing for that, because I was training almost every other day with Michelle Lesko, and I didn't want to tell her no. So I was like, you know what? I know how to lose the weight afterwards. It's fine.
So you are now on a diet because you are after the competition?
Yeah, so right now my family and I are getting ready for a trip to Mexico. So yeah, I'm definitely on a diet right now.
Okay, yeah, it's beach time. I understand.
Yes. Stu's asking if I purge afterwards. So I try not to. It's really different. Competitive eating is really different than the chili community, where we often encourage each other to boot or purge afterwards because we know it's horrible digesting it. In competitive eating, it's really frowned upon to do that. Sometimes it does happen. I will confess, I think it was my very first local contest. It was a taco eating contest. I kept that down for like 2 hours, but when I got home, I wasn't able to. So it happens, but typically you want to digest the food. Yeah.
This is crazy, because like watching people eating huge amount of food, like really, I mean, huge, and they digest it.
Yeah, so I can't speak for everyone. That's what I do.
Of course, but this is the regular one.
Yeah.
Even if you do just for a YouTube video, or like most of them, if they do for a YouTube video, they try, because I guess if you do it in the if you don't let it come back on the competition, you do same way home as well.
Right. So a lot of competitive eaters have videos about how they stay thin. And of course, it's easier for the guys because they can typically eat more calories in a day than us ladies can. But if you can say, like, eat 10,000 calories in a week and maintain your weight, then you just do the math and you eat less the rest of the week. That's how they balance that out.
Okay. And how you do it? What's your way?
Yeah, same thing. Although, like when I was getting ready for Nathan's, I just ignored the scale and just did what I had to do to try and beat my personal best. But yeah, typically I count calories every day. And so if I overeat by 1,000 calories one day, then I'm going to eat like 200 calories less for the next 5 days to compensate for that.
Okay, so if I understand right, you check your calories average by the week. So it's like you have the calorie number for a week. So if one day goes over, rest of the week you get ready, and the next week you can do it again.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. That's the way I try to do now as well. Because I try to do a diet and I do the same way. I count calories, but when I do chili challenge, and I just can't stop doing chili challenges. I don't know why, but it's just bringing me back. I tried once, maybe a little break now, and I was like, oh, come on. I need that pain back. I want to feel it. So I was like, okay, I got to do this way. Chili challenge 1 day a week. Maximum 2. I try only 1 day a week. Like last time I did 2, it wasn't the really best idea because I wasn't prepared. But like one day a week, so the rest of the days I can mix and match, so like the same way as you do. I'm happy it works because then it means the method I found on the internet it's good. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how was Nathan's the last competition? If I remember correctly, please correct me if not. Your personal record was 18 hot dogs, and now you ate 16.
Yeah, so my personal official record for Nathan's was 15 last year. That's what I did at the contest. I have eaten 18 at home, but that doesn't count for official record.
Okay. So,
but
then you beat your record.
Yeah, so I ate 16 this year. So my jersey for Nathan's next year will say 16 on the back, which is exciting.
Nice. What do you get for a food competition like this? Because we know on the chili competition, most of the people, they got a box of goodies, some chili sauces, maybe some extra pots to remind you that that was a really bad decision for the day, but maybe you won, so it's remind you the mixed feelings. How it's in food competitions?
Yeah, so it depends on the contest. Nathan's, of course, is our biggest contest of the year. So if you qualify for Nathan's, and this year was a bit different because it was invite only. We weren't able to have the qualifying contest because of the pandemic. So they invited ranked eaters depending on who was available and who could actually travel. But Major League Eating, which is the eating league I'm a part of, they actually pay for my trip to New York. They pay for my hotel. They give us an allowance for travel, like Ubers to and from the hotel and the airport. And then because I came in 4th place in the women's contest, I won $750 this year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. We have, guys, if anybody here from League of Fire, any other competition organizer or anybody related to the scene, we have to step up. Bring sponsors and money into the chili competitions because okay, now I'm asking this, not saying this. Which one you feel harder, and if you make a difference, please give us an explanation why.
Yeah, I think it's completely different. Like I mentioned before, the capacity or speed eating challenges are harder for me because I don't put in the training into that to make myself the best. So Miki Sudo, the reigning women's champ, although she wasn't able to compete this year, she has the women's record with, 48 and a half hot dogs. I will never eat 48 and a half hot dogs ever. And I'm never going to train hard enough to do that. Yeah, I don't want to. I know how hard she works, and I will never do that. The spicy challenges I've seen, and right now my tolerance is really low because I was prepping for Nathan's. But when I was doing one challenge a week like you were, they start to get easier. And that doesn't mean it's not a struggle to push through it, but you become so acutely aware of how your body reacts and what that looks like that easy to just kind of step back and let your body experience what's going on and still write it out and not panic, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely understand.
So I prefer doing the spicy challenges, but I love the energy of an eating contest. It's so much fun to be on stage and to have that MC doing introductions and getting the audience hyped and people are cheering you on. So it's a very different environment than being on YouTube eating spicy things.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know I work on stage. I'm the MC one who makes the crowd crazy,
Yeah.
make them loud, and I introduce the people. So I know what you mean. I love to be on stage. So I totally understand that you are hooked to that. Do you plan to do chili eating competitions as well?
I would love to. That's a bit more challenging. One, because I do have a contract with Major League Eating and I do pay for my own travel to most of those contests except for Nathan's. So it'd be hard for me to budget to go to more contests.
Okay.
But like when Portland brings back their hot sauce expo, I would love to go to that and do some of the contests they have there.
All right. There are no mixes on an event having a food competition and the same event have a chili competition at the same time. If people already there, it's the same. I mean, it's eating competition, just a different league. It never happens because it
No.
would make sense to me that like going to Nathan's and why not they have a chili eating competition as well.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I wish Major League Eating would start having chili competitions or something like that. I think it's a huge untapped market for them, especially because they know how to host those contests and get the sponsorships. I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do really like the grassroots feel to the chili eating contest too. So I wouldn't want to take away from that.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Fine. Please, I would like to hear a comparison between the training for the eating competition, like what you have to do to get ready for Nathan's, for example, or how you train yourself for a chili challenge, like a Killer Queen, which is a really tough one, or a Nemesis. So it's like let's look for a hard challenge.
Yeah, so for the capacity for like a Major League Eating challenge, what most eaters do is water training, which is really, really dangerous. So they'll take, I have it here, they'll take like a gallon jug like this, and they'll chug up to like 2-3 gallons of water, like as rapidly as they can to expand their stomach. You can get water toxicity. It's very dangerous. So I don't recommend that. Please, nobody do that. What I do, because I prefer it, I've tried water training, I don't like it. What I do is I will drink about 32 ounces of water, and then I will eat a large bowl of steamed vegetables, cottage cheese, chicken, about 5-6 pounds of that. And then I'll chug as much water after that as I can until I can't anymore. So that's how I train for an eating contest.
How many times a week or day doing this?
Yeah, so usually 2 times a week. Like we said, for Nathan's, because I didn't start prepping early enough for that, I was training every other day, and I was training with hot dogs, which is why I gained so much weight. But for Nathan's in particular, you want to train with the hot dogs because it is a technique skill. It's not just the capacity, it's how quickly you can eat them. So that was important for that. For chili contests, or not contest, but for a chili challenge, I don't train very well. And I honestly haven't found like one particular prep that works well for me. It seems like every challenge is different. It depends on how I'm feeling that day, how I'm going to react. But I usually try to eat a big meal beforehand. And then I think everybody knows I always have the bathtub ready for afterwards.
But you're like not eating something super spicy every day before a challenge or something like this?
No.
To bring your tolerance high and keep it there to deal easier with the challenge?
No, I know some people train with tinctures. I don't know why. I just don't. But when I was doing really well before Nathan's, I was just doing a challenge once a week, and that seemed to be enough to bring my tolerance up.
Oh, that's good. I have to
Mm-hmm.
try this also because, like me personally, I not really like tinctures a lot to do it just the thing. Luckily, a local producer loves what I do and he supports me big time. And he used to make me chocolate bears
Mm-hmm.
or different shape of little chocolates that filled with extremely lot of capsaicin. Those are super hot. And whenever any of my friend taste it, they are just like they mad their face off and they going crazy like what I do. I'm like smiling, eating. This is what I do every day. Yeah, this is how I train. Blah blah blah. Says, for me, it's okay, but for everybody else who ever tried my chocolate bears, they were just like going nuts that this is not what they want to eat anymore. They said this is the best chocolate to make the kids hate chocolate for the rest of the life. But of course, I never give kids this kind of
Right,
chocolates,
right,
especially because I need them.
right, right.
It's not because I'm not mean enough. It's because I am jealous. I mean, not jealous, but whatever. You understand what I want to
I
say.
do. I do. They're for you. They're for you in your training. Um, Stu
Yeah, there was
says,
a question like what you do after this. I also wanted to ask about the aftermath for both competition because it's really. I'm sorry for like always asking
no, it's
a
good.
little comparison, but it's like so much fun to hear. It's so interesting how the two eating competitions or challenges work totally different way. And before you
Mhm.
go to this one, just to step back one, you were talking about the preparation, expand the stomach. If I know correctly, I just would like to let people know who doesn't know much about eating competitions or competitive eating because I was really watching many different videos how it works. I'm really into this sport. If I know it correctly, that our stomach is like a expandable plastic bag, which is
Mhm.
quite small for everybody, but we have the space so if people are expanded, that's why they don't really have to gain the weight. So they don't have to gain weight because we have the space, and if the stomach is big enough, they can feel it. And why they are not gaining is what you said earlier, because they have a really good diet and doing a lot of sports in the same time. But this is how it works, right? So this is why
Mhm.
they do the water stuff also, because that's the easiest way to expand the stomach.
Correct. Yeah. So your stomach's like a balloon, and the other
Yeah,
piece
balloon
is
is good. Yeah.
that the less fat that you have in your body, the easier it is for your abdomen to stretch with your stomach. So
Okay.
you need that space as well. So it's very helpful for them to keep their weight down and stay thin, so that the stomach has more room to expand. Because when it hits that fat wall, it stops. Um,
Now I learned something new. That's why I
mhm.
like this podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so the stomach expands while they're doing the challenge, but because it's like a balloon, afterwards it collapses again. So that's why they're able to remain looking thin and trim. But often, like Molly Schuyler, if you see her after a contest, she looks like she's pregnant, like she's about to have a baby.
Really, but she is like
Hmm.
super thin.
And then it just collapses back again.
This is just crazy.
Yep.
Uh, especially because I watch her videos for quite a while now. The amount of food she can take is unbelievable for a so thin woman like she is, and she does quite often.
Oh yes, Molly is one of the best in my opinion.
Yeah,
Absolutely
definitely.
phenomenal.
And she's a really fun person as well.
Hmm. And she does spicy challenges now, which I think is so
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. Actually, this is how I found her, because of the spicy challenge. And then somebody, I think James, just told me that. Did you see the new record? I'm like, what record? And she was like eating three different, uh, I think, like the brownie ones, and so
She did
one of the
all,
challenges, and made all the time record as well.
yeah, she did all three of the old Agnes challenges
Yeah,
back
all
to
the
back. Hmm.
doing three time
Yeah.
record, and then they told me that like she is a competitive eater and probably that's why. And I watched her and I was like, okay, I am in love with her as well now. One more YouTube channel to watch and go through so many videos, but it's entertaining. So
It is.
okay, so we know how it works. Back to the aftermath. What do you do
Hmm.
after competitive eating championship when you have 16 hot dogs in your stomach. It's just too much.
Yeah, so usually what I would do is just go and rest. I'm usually really tired. I want a nap after eating that much. Similar to after eating a big meal with your family, everyone just wants to nap, right? At Nathan's, that's not really an option because there's an after party right after the contest. So I posted a picture this year, but I actually did go to a bar and hang out with friends and just look miserable. But when I got back to my hotel room, I took a nap, showered, just relaxed. Usually I feel better about 4 to 6 hours after a big eating challenge like that.
Please tell me there is no food in the after party. I don't want to know that like people after the competition, they're going, it's like, hey, look, snack.
No,
I have some room left. I won early.
The first after party, there's no food typically, unless it's like friends or family that are there. Lots of people do drink beer, which I tried to have a beer afterwards. It was horrible. It made me feel worse. But then after we like shower, nap, all that, there's an after party, and there is usually food at that party.
Okay, but
but that's 8 hours later.
Yeah, but come on, 8 hours later, yeah, of course, people start to try to eat at least again. What's your limit? Like after you're doing a preparation, eating like 10 hot dogs for a preparation, or I don't know how many, but you eat quite a lot of hot dogs for a preparation as well. If I remember correctly, I saw one of your videos. You were eating quite a big amount.
Yeah, so this year, because my personal best was 15 last year, each plate at the contest is 5 hot dogs a plate. So every time I practiced this year, I made 20 hot dogs, so 4 plates. And I got up to my personal home best, which was 18. I was able to eat 18 at home, but still haven't hit 20 yet. So maybe next year.
Okay, so after you finish 18 hot dogs at home, and you said you digested, how many hours you need to eat again comfortably?
Oh, I don't eat again till like dinner the next day. So about 24 hours.
Okay, I can understand that. Totally can understand that. But I was a bit surprised. I thought somehow you eat earlier. But yeah,
No.
come on, like after 18 or just 15 hot dogs, of course, come on. Some people need for 15 hot dogs 3 days. I mean, they can eat 15 hot dogs for 3 days.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is I do intermittent fasting as well. So to stay at like a decent weight, oftentimes if I do a big practice or a home challenge where it's a lot of calories, I'll do the math and then I'll fast the next day or however long I need to. I think the most I've fasted for is 72 hours, but I wouldn't recommend that either.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. Don't try this at home, kids, or anybody. Okay, this is like professional, competitive eating that you had to learn. There is a learning curve also, right?
Yes.
You had a lot of helps and everything, and going step by step is not just like, hey, I heard they drink 3 gallons of water. Let's try this.
No. So yes, no one try this. When I decided to go into competitive eating, I reached out to another competitive eater that I knew virtually. I knew he was a nice guy. I knew he liked to help people. Some people are secretive about their techniques. You find that in competitive eating and the chili community. But Wayne Algenio, if you've watched him, super lovely guy. And he actually used to have the Guinness World Record for, I forget the time limit, but at like the New York Hot Sauce Expo, they have that Reaper eating challenge. He used to have the Guinness World Record for that. So he's done spicy things as well. But he's a really...
His name, please?
Wayne Algenio.
Okay.
I can message you his name. It's difficult to spell, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's why I was like, try to remember, but okay, thank you for the help.
Yeah. Super nice guy, though. He has a great YouTube channel. And so I messaged him and he's like, absolutely. So he gave me some tips, which helped me get started. And he actually monitored my training when I first started. And then as I got more and more involved in the community and talking to other eaters, everybody, similar to the chili community, everybody has their own techniques, tips, and tricks. So you try things out. Someone will suggest something and you try it out for yourself and you see if it helps, and then you add onto what you're doing.
Definitely. This is how I trained for the chili challenges with James, that he was the one who had me out big time, giving me all the tips and hints. And I was trying, and he always said like, dude, this works for me. And he told me also like how many different things works for different people. And I was like trying until I was like, okay, now I'm ready. I know by myself, and I don't have to ask him every time before a challenge. Like, is it okay? Is it okay? Look at this one. Look at this one. I was sending messages like, okay, this cottage cheese. What do you think? This cottage cheese. Okay, what do you think? This food. Okay, bro, this amount, this time, that time. I guess maybe I was making him mad, but no, he was really friendly all the time. But finally, then I don't know. In 2 months, I reached the level I was like comfortable with what I'm doing. Okay, chili aftermath.
Yeah.
How is it for you?
Chili aftermath depends on the challenge. So I mentioned like the first time I ate those fresh reapers, I was in pain for probably 8 hours.
Oh no.
But the good thing about it is that's how I learned my bathtub trick, because I was in such pain. I thought I'm just going to get in the bathtub, and I turned on the warm water and I was like, okay, this is nice. This is relaxing. And I realized, because a lot of women have made this comparison, but capsaicin cramps are a lot like labor. And a lot of women do give birth in water. And I think that's why, because it can be soothing for some people. So that's what I like to do. And I'm glad I discovered that trick. So I always have the bathtub ready in case, but it depends. But
hot water. So you go in warm water, sitting in and having fun.
Yes. And usually I'll watch you guys doing other chili challenges while I'm recovering. Sometimes I order more challenges. It's a great time.
I'm sorry, but I can imagine this. Like, you chug a challenge, cramps kicks in, run to the bathroom, jump into the warm water, having a little better feeling, suffering, and what to do to trick the mind to not thinking about the pain. Order more challenges.
That's right.
Okay, this is the best answer ever I get. I already asked quite a few people on Wacky Wednesday different things. Best answer ever I got. I'm in pain, so yeah, I order more challenges. Okay, I'm even bigger fan of you now.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So that's, if it's really bad, that's what I do. But we mentioned earlier, it's different for everyone. So something I've noticed is that the peanut challenges don't affect me as much as they do other people. So like the tube of terror, both times I've done that, and the second time I did 2 tubes, I didn't have any capsaicin cramps. I was uncomfortable for hours, but no capsaicin cramps.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about
terror brought me down.
Yeah, I know. And most people say that. And if you watch the video, it was a horrible experience for me. It's not as though it wasn't painful, but different things give me cramps, and that didn't. And the peanut brutal typically doesn't. And the death nut, I've never gotten cramps from either. So
lucky you.
Yeah. Something about peanuts. My body likes peanuts. I don't know.
My body loves peanuts, but my limit is extract or no extract. Without extract, I can consume a lot, and I don't. Okay, I have cramps, but I can deal with them easier if extract in it. My body says after an hour of suffering that like, okay, it's enough. Bring everything back, and then totally forget it. I tried hard to keep everything down, just to try how is it, and maybe make my stomach tolerance level higher. Nothing works. Nothing. If it's extract on it, tube of terror or killer or whatever, there is a certain point I can keep it down for hours and hours and hours, but in the end, same result. So I gave up.
Interesting. Yeah, I will confess, so we were talking about that with eating challenges and how the chili community is different about booting. It's more acceptable for us. with the chug challenges, with the exception of the version 3, because that one's a bit milder. But the chug version 2 is the worst thing I've ever done. So you mentioned the UK Chili Queen chug. I did not try to keep that down at all.
I remember your video when you did it first time. I was there supporting.
Yeah.
I remember how fast you were running out of the picture.
Like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, 4 minutes. Goodbye. And it was over.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, long show. But you did it. So congratulations for that
Thank
as well.
you.
Which is your favorite challenge? Only one.
Oh.
Chili, of course. Chili.
That's tough. I think for flavor and difficulty, probably my favorite is the peanut brutal.
Okay.
I really like that challenge.
It's a tasty one.
Yeah, it's delicious. It has a good heat level. I always get an endorphin rush from it. And it's not too bad aftermath wise. So I think that's probably my favorite.
Okay. I hope you don't mind if I ask some question about your last challenges you did last Saturday. There was the spicy noodle challenge, right?
Yes, the ghost pepper.
So there were like 3 of you, 2 guys. I'm really sorry, I just can't remember every name. Please, do you remember their names?
Yeah, so I did that with Zachary Goot, Travis, who's also known as Groovy Lava Squirrel Medic, and why am I drawing a blank? Micah, whose channel is called Micah's Mix. So those were the 3 guys that I did that with.
Yeah, thank you. Just my name memory is really bad, and I didn't want to not mention them. So you were four of you doing the spicy noodle challenges, and you had like 4 or 5 cups. Six, and only you finished it. The guys said it's because of the amount. That's the best excuse. I know. This is my excuse for chocolate as well. How much did it have to consume all the 6 because you're competitive eater? It made it easier for you, or when it's so spicy, it doesn't really help at all?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a few factors there. One, I had been doing a challenge every week up until I was prepping for Nathan. So that's the first spicy thing I've done in a month and a half. So if you watch that, you can see like I'm sweating, I'm crying, my hands cramped up. It was really difficult for me spice-wise. I don't think it was as challenging spice-wise for the guys. So there probably is a bit of capacity that was limiting them. That said,
I was just kidding about this.
Yeah. But for me, I'm glad I finished. I was disappointed it took me like over 20 minutes to do it, but it really was the heat that was slowing me down. So at no time while I was doing that did I feel full. It's just I was pushing through my body wanting to shut down and not eat any more capsaicin.
It was really fun to watch. Actually, I was playing with my friends in the same time. You just sent the message that soon it starts. I was making everything ready. We were playing, communicating in the meantime. And once I was just feeling like, Rika, are you there? I was like, oh, sorry. I was just watching this chili challenge is going crazy. It was like, I was shouting with them and everything. I was like, so excited to see how you're doing. And I was seeing like everybody giving up and you still keep going. And your hand were in claw cramps. And you had a hard time to hold the spoon. And I was like super nervous. Like I had no idea what's going on. That's why I was messaging you after, like, please stand. Is like everything okay with you? Because I was worried. I was like cheering a lot, and I saw like you were a beast, a real fighter. Guys, if you didn't see, or girls as well, if you didn't see this challenge, you have to see how Katie went through all the 6 noodles. It was amazing. Go for it. Please go for it. It's worth your time. Trust me.
Thank you.
This happens often with your hands, that it stuck in a claw and you can't really use them.
It does. So, quite a few people in this group get hiccups when they eat things that are spicy. That's never happened to me. I've never gotten the hiccups, but I am one of the few people that gets capsaicin claws or naga claws, as a UK chili queen calls them. So I know she gets them sometimes. But yeah, it depends on the challenge. And what's difficult for me is sometimes it'll happen and then I can't complete the challenge because I can't open the next package of whatever I'm doing, particularly if I'm doing multiples. So when I did the 2 tubes of terror, thankfully I didn't get claws with that, but I actually opened both tubes before I started because I was nervous that might happen. Because I tried doing multiple hot dang bites one time, and I think I could have gotten farther than I did, but after 2 boxes, because of the length of time that you're sitting there, my hands cramped up and I couldn't use the scissors to cut it open.
Oh, that's bad. How long does it take to relax, to get your hands back?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you can see that's part of the reason that challenge took me 20 minutes, because I was able to open up my hand a little bit further on. So usually 5 minutes or so, and they start to
Okay, so
loosen up.
it's a short term
Yeah.
problem. Okay, this is lucky. Actually, because I was like waiting, I don't know, like at least half an hour, because I had no idea like how bad situation you are, but I was like so interested in, just had to ask. But you were texting back quite fast. It was like, okay, looks everything is fine, so it's good. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, and I have tons of questions left, but few really important. You were mentioning that I heard from other ladies also that they say the cap cramps are similar to labor. You, as a mom, as a chili challenger, what you say? How much you think it's similar or same, or which one worse?
Yeah, so I think capsaicin cramps are worse, which I know probably women around the world are groaning like, how can you say that? But it's true. They are worse. One, because
Wow.
when you're in labor, there's a positive at the end of that. You're giving birth to a baby. Hopefully you want that child. So that it's a positive experience. Plus,
Yeah.
I feel like your body knows what it's doing and it's working towards something, whereas the capsaicin cramps are your body reacting to, like, why did you do this horrible thing to yourself? It's a very different feeling.
Okay.
But I know I'm not the only woman that has said that, because I think Bella said that in that.
Yeah, I heard first one from her.
So I'm not the only mom that feels that way. But yeah,
Okay.
any of the guys that have been through it, kudos to you.
It means whenever ladies telling us like we don't know what pain is because we can't be pregnant, now I can say, but I know what cap cramps is. So hold your horse back, lady. I know what's worse than labor. If you want to challenge me, you can.
Yeah,
Good. Thanks.
I
I
encourage
just wanted to hear
men
from that.
who have a partner that's giving birth, like, eat a nemesis bar. Oh.
Yeah, your screen is frozen a bit. I don't know why, but yeah, Nemesis is okay. Everything is back. Nemesis is crazy. That made me roll on the ground and like almost scream because of the pain. I had 3 waves, and then my body said like, "Are you stupid?" And everything just came back. So I couldn't really enjoy the rest. But I say luckily, because the third round, it actually came back with the fourth one, but the third round was like really long. And I had the pain I never, ever had before. I thought I knew what pain is. Not until I tried Nemesis. That was the worst of all.
That's one of the 2 challenges I've failed, is the nemesis bar. I haven't finished that yet.
How is that possible? Because the amount you can finish it. The spiciness is
it's
okay.
not the amount. I've noticed, particularly with things with Reaper in them, once I've eaten too much Reaper, my body, I reverse. I boot it. So that's what happens. Like
so you have the problem with the Reapers that I have with the extract.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, I understand. Last questions, because I'm really interested, especially with you. What your friends and family thinking about what you're doing? Both ways. When you started competitive eating, what they were thinking, and when you started the chili challenges seriously, what was the reaction?
Yeah, it was mixed. I will say before I started competitive eating, I was watching all these competitive eaters and forcing friends and family to watch them too, which they were not happy about. And my husband made a joke to one of his friends, like, just watch, she's going to start doing this. And that kind of like spurred it for me, like, oh yeah, I could do this. So it's partially his fault. They're all really supportive. My family's super supportive. They do think it's disgusting, which I understand. It is disgusting. They usually don't watch my contests. They don't watch my YouTube. But they're all supportive. Like right now, they know that I'm doing this podcast with you. They're trying to be quiet. They give me lots of space when I have to nap after I train. So that's always great. Friends think it's funny. You know, they like telling other people that they know a competitive eater, but I think they also think it's gross. So yeah, everyone's really supportive.
So much fun.
Yeah. And the chili stuff, most of what I hear is like, please don't hurt yourself. And like, I've done a lot of research. You have to eat like, it's like 5 or 7 pounds of Reapers before you would die. And nobody's body can actually do that. Like, it's just not humanly possible. Yeah. So I try to explain to them how capsaicin works and why it's okay. It's just pain. We can ride through it. But they're always worried I'm hurting myself. So I have to reassure them. Like, I do this because I want to. Nobody's forcing me to do this.
Yeah, I have to answer this question almost every day, but your stomach is going to die. I'm like, no, I'm not eating empty stomach.
Right.
That can cause troubles for some people, but if you don't have any allergic to capsaicin, then you can't really hurt yourself in long term. Of course, we have some cramps and we have short-term pain, but all the endorphin, the adrenaline rush, all the fame we get after, and all the fun doing the challenges and the community makes everything worth it.
Right. And that's what I tell people too when they ask why I do it. Some people ask the question like, that's so stupid. Why would you do that? And my answer is, I don't know. Why would somebody climb Mount Everest? Because it's there. I mean, we all know that you could die doing that, but we admire the people that do it. Even if they make it to the top, most of them have some sort of brain damage from the lack of oxygen, however small that is. But we still admire those folks, just like we might admire extreme athletes. I feel the same way about competitive eaters and Chilli-heads. We're all pushing our bodies to the limit, and it might not be something other people understand, but it's the same idea.
That's really good to hear from you. I think I'm gonna clip this part and just share it to the people that like.
Yeah.
Because
my little elevator speech.
What we do and why we do, and it's really good comparison, I think. Okay, and now this is the really last question. What's your goal in competitive eating and in Chili world near future, or if you have any goal far future, that as well?
Yeah, so in the competitive eating world, I have a contest coming up in September that I just registered for. So I'll be going to Texas for the tamale contest, which is my absolute favorite. My record for that contest is 21 tamales in 10 minutes. So this year I'm hoping to eat 24 because that would be 2 full plates. So that's my goal for that. And then in the chili community, I don't know if I have a particular goal right now. I want to build my tolerance up again. I would like to have completed all of the challenges on the League of Fire. So I still need to do the Nemesis. I've never finished that. I have to do the cap gun, which you and I are going to do on Saturday.
Yes, so everybody, if you want to see, we're going to have the cap gun challenge together on Saturday evening.
So I'll get to check that off. And then I think the only thing I won't have done at that point is the version 1 Pocky chip. And I don't know where I could find that unless I pay $100 on eBay because it's so old.
Yes, and so gross tasting.
Yeah.
If you need, if you want to do the Nemesis online, and if you need any loud support, you can count on me. Literally anytime. If you want me to be there to support you, live show or do it here, Wacky Wednesday, Wacky any other day, just let me know. I'm really happy to help you out if you need. Perfect. If not, no hard feelings, of course. But if you would like to, I would love to support you there.
I would love that. I do much better when I have somebody yelling at me. So.
Oh, really?
I do.
Okay, you can count on me. Do you have a nemesis?
I don't. Like I said, I need to get back in the game. I'll have to work up to that.
Okay, then because you said yes to this podcast, I would love to give you a nemesis. So in private, as a gift, as a present.
Thank you.
So I gonna need some contact. That how can I send you a bar of nemesis, and when you feel ready, I gonna shout at you as long as you finish the bar.
Okay, perfect.
Deal?
Perfect. Yes, deal. I will message you my contact information.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much for coming, being with us, and answering all my questions. I loved it. I learned many new things. I guess people enjoyed as well to learn more about competitive eating world. It was really interesting. So thank you very much. See you on Saturday evening. Or I think it's the same time, or we start 1 hour later.
1 hour earlier. So it'll
1 hour earlier.
It'll be,
yeah, it's gonna be 1 hour earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be 7 p.m. UK time, which is
6 p.m. UK.
No, 6 p.m. UK time. Yeah, which is 7 for me. Sorry.
Yes.
World time, world clock. I just mixing my head. Whatever. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Say hi to your family, and see you on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye bye. And guys, short break. And we're going to continue with Wacky Wednesday. Actually, it's in 3 minutes. So just grab another drink, grab some hot sauce or whatever. Join me on a Wacky Wednesday and see you there.